All right, Spurs lose to the Golden State Warriors 109 points to 108 points. And we'll just get to the elephant in the room. Everyone's hating on De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox comes in, he takes three shots in the final minute of the game. Wemby doesn't take any shots in the final minute of the game, and it is inexcusable. I will say that it is an inexcusable thing. De'Aaron Fox comes in, he's trying to help us win the game. I'll agree with people. If people want to say he was playing hero ball, I'll agree with you. He took three shots down the stretch. I don't think any of them were like horrible shots, but the final two plays of the game, Wemby was fairly open for a lob pass. Some people are saying Wemby was wide open, like there was nobody within 20 feet of Wembenyama, and that just wasn't true. He was fairly open, though. If De'Aaron Fox lobs the ball in on either one of those plays, I think worst case scenario, he at least gets fouled and gets to go to the free throw line. But with that being said, the last shot De'Aaron Fox took for the win, I didn't really love the shot. We got the switch, so he gets the switch, and I'm pretty sure it was Gary Payton on him, so we got the switch. The last play was drawn up for De'Aaron Fox to catch the ball in the backcourt, come downhill at 100 miles an hour, and Wemby's cutting right down the middle. So again, I thought Wemby was fairly open. On the last play, and then the play before that, where De'Aaron Fox took the jumper, I felt like Wemby was pretty open for a lob pass as well. So yes, De'Aaron Fox probably misread those two plays. I bet De'Aaron Fox was the first person to go up to Wemby after the game and say, "My bad, I missed you, bro." I'm sure Wemby, De'Aaron Fox, the coaching staff, everyone's going to have a conversation and kind of try to get that right for next time. We'll get into it later. I mean, with that being said, I blame the loss the most on our coaching staff and our defense. Steph Curry fucking cooked us last game. We come in this game and say, "Hey, let's do all the same shit we did last game and just cross our fingers and hope that Steph Curry doesn't cook us again," and he does cook us again. We'll get into the player stats here in a second, but this is basically the lead tracker of the game. So gold is Golden State, black is the Spurs. If you see, this would be a 10-point lead, this line up here, and this would be the Spurs up 10. So we came out, we're playing well. De'Aaron Fox scores like a quick 5 points to start the game out. We're looking good. Golden State gets the lead in the first quarter. Then we come back a little bit in the second. They have the lead in the third. This is quarter three and quarter four, so all you see is black. The Spurs are up for most of the game in the second half, and then if you see this gold right here, that's where Golden State got the lead, and they have the lead at the most important times of the game, and that's all that really matters. One thing that I did notice in the game, there's a lot of different things I saw in the game, but there was a three from Stephen Curry. I want to say it was probably 5 minutes left or so. Stephon Castle does not foul him. He goes up to contest the shot. He doesn't touch Steph Curry. Steph Curry kicks his leg out. Stephon Castle bumps his leg, and Steph Curry goes to the line. Of course, he makes all three of the free throws. If you remember the play I'm talking about, I think I already mentioned it. The biggest reason we lost the game was coaching. It wasn't because of De'Aaron Fox. If you're saying De'Aaron Fox tried to play hero ball down the stretch, I do agree with you. He does deserve some of the blame for losing. He took three shots in the final minute. Wembanyama didn't take one shot in the final minute, and I bet that never happens again for the rest of the year. So yes, De'Aaron Fox made some bad reads down the stretch. He has the foul on Steph Curry, and Steph Curry goes to the free throw line and makes the free throws to get up in the game. But with that being said, I do think Wemby should have gotten one, two, or maybe all three of those shots. But I put that more on coaching. On the last play of the game, if Mitch Johnson wants to draw it up and say the ball is getting to Wembanyama, Wembanyama is taking the last shot, Wemby would have taken the last shot. And it's easy to look back in hindsight and say, hey, Wemby was open for this lob, Wemby was open for this lob. But if De'Aaron Fox makes one of those shots, he finishes the game with 26 points and 10 assists on 50% shooting with 3 steals, and we're all saying how happy we are to have De'Aaron Fox. But yes, I agree with you. He did try to play hero ball towards the end of the game, and he deserves a lot of the blame for why we lost the game. But I blame the coaching staff more than I blame De'Aaron Fox. Back to the coaching staff. Mitch Johnson has the challenge late in the game. It's a 3-on-1 with Devin Vassell, and he gets a charge. He does like some Euro step, and he gets a charge, I think, on Gary Payton. Mitch Johnson challenges that call. It was pretty obvious we weren't going to win that, but he still had a challenge in his back pocket, so we decided to use the challenge. But like I said again, it's easy to look back in hindsight and say Wemby's open for this and Wemby's open for this, and Mitch Johnson should have challenged this play. But right when that Steph Curry play happened, he kicked his leg out. even from the live angle, I was like, that's a fucking offensive foul. He obviously kicked out, and if Mitch Johnson would have challenged the play, 100% they would have called it an offensive foul. It was really obvious if y'all remember the play I'm talking about. And this game, last game, Mitch Johnson hasn't been great at rotations. I feel like Jeremy Sohan should have played more minutes out there. We'll get to the exact stats in a second here for the players, but I feel like Sohan's about to get traded, honestly, with how we're barely playing him. And I think I mentioned earlier, Steph Curry had at least three threes on Luke Cornett where he comes off the roll. Luke Cornett was playing drop coverage like 3 times in a row. Even if he presses up, Steph Curry probably still shakes him up and gets an open three. But we play drop coverage on a lot of Steph Curry's threes. So, like I said before, coaching was the number one reason we lost the game. Number two reason, you can blame De'Aaron Fox's decision making down the stretch. I'm not here to say De'Aaron Fox had a perfect game, but I'm not going to totally shit on De'Aaron Fox like he didn't have 24 points and 10 assists and like he didn't make some good plays down the stretch. We just see the three misses. And again, it's inexcusable, but I go back to coaching. Mitch Johnson should have said Wemby's getting the shot because on the last play, it was drawn up for Wemby and De'Aaron Fox. Wemby catches in the backcourt. He comes down the lane 100 miles an hour. He chooses to get to his mid-range shot and take the shot. I didn't think it was a horrible shot, but like I said before, Wemby was pretty open on both of those last plays for an alley-oop. But back to the coaching point, Mitch Johnson could have said, "Hey Wemby, you are the one taking that shot." Not going to blame Wemby for the loss. De'Aaron Fox and coaching deserve more blame than Wemby. But on Wemby's end, he should have said, fuck this, I'm getting the ball, demand the ball, have that Kobe Bryant mentality and say, we're going to win or lose this game on my back. I would have preferred that if Wemby took the final shot. But again, it's easy to look back in hindsight and say, we should have done this, we should have done this. Moving on, though, the Steph Curry three. When I saw it live, I was like, Mitch Johnson, we should challenge that call. We didn't challenge the call. Steph Curry makes the 3 free throws in a row, and he's just fucking on fire after that. If we challenge the call, it's a turnover. We get the ball back. Steph Curry doesn't get to shoot 3 free throws. After those 3 free throws, that kind of helped him get into rhythm. Then he just fucking cooked us. If we challenge the call, we get the ball back. Maybe Steph Curry doesn't get on fire so fast. But again, Golden State leads most of the first half. We lead most of the second half, except until the end, and Steph Curry just fucking scorches us. Steph Curry honestly always torches the Spurs. So I don't say what can you do. What we can do is just trap his ass, just double team him every single possession. We weren't really doing that. Again, I was saying there was at least 2 or 3 plays where Curry comes off the screen. Luke Cornett is playing drop coverage and he wets a three on him. So Luke Cornett became unplayable in the game because of Steph Curry out there. There was 1 3 where Steph comes off the screen again, and Wembanyama was playing drop coverage, and he wets it on Wembanyama. I mean, Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time. He's fucking unguardable. But with that being said, our defense against him wasn't good. We're going to check the stats in a second here. I don't know how many points he had in the first half, but he was already hot in the first half. He was hot enough to where we should have said, fuck this, we're double teaming Steph Curry. We're trapping him at half court and let AirPods, let Gary Payton III, Jimmy Butler, Draymond. If y'all can make fucking 15 threes between you guys, then, we just deserve to lose. It is what it is. And we'll take the loss to the role players. But we can't let Steph Curry score 46 and then 49 points back to back against us and make no adjustments. That's really concerning coaching wise because these were 2 playoff style games, same opponent, back to back games, and we made no real adjustment. So that is concerning on the coaching end. Again, Golden State beats us by 1 point. Before I get into the stats, we did lose to Golden State back to back games, but it's losses on the record, but it kind of felt like wins for us. We got so much experience from these 2 games, and we're only going to improve from these losses. These losses didn't hurt our team. It's not like we're going backwards. These losses are only going to help us get better as a team. We out-rebound them 47-39. We usually win the rebound battle. We have 10 more assists than them. They have 1 more steal than us. They have 2 more blocks than us, which is kind of surprising. We have 6 more turnovers. We usually have more turnovers than our opponent. That's been concerning all season long with our turnovers. We outshoot them 46% to 42% from the field. They're 1% better from us than 3. We're about to check out the player stats. I think they shot a good amount more threes than we did. So their percentage was a little bit higher, but I think they shot a much higher volume than we did. They're 90% from the line, basically 89%. We're 84%. Steph Curry shot a lot of free throws. He's a fucking god out there. What can we do? We win points in the paint like we always do. We win second chance points like we basically always do. We win fast break points like we basically always do as well. And, yeah, it just comes down to our defense against Steph Curry, then us not closing the game out. And again, we can put a lot of that blame on De'Aaron Fox. But like I said before, the number one reason we lost was coaching, not making adjustments to defend Steph Curry. And then, he just comes out and cooks us. Moving on, though, to the player stats. Let's see. As a team, Golden State makes 17 of their 45 threes. For us, we made 14 of our 38. So again, they shot a higher percentage. They made 3 more threes than us. And it's not so much the reason we lost was the 3-point battle. But again, getting to Steph Curry, this is why we lost, was us not making adjustments. And it's so frustrating because he did the same shit last game, does it again this game. We can't let him shoot 17 threes and make 9 of them. I was getting frustrated. It's like, let's fucking press up on Steph Curry, double team him at half court, and we try to do it in like the last 2 minutes of the game, but it was just already over. The game wasn't over, but Steph was already so on fire. We just had nothing to stop him. But Steph fucking scores 49 points on us. He knocks down 9 threes. He's 8 for 8 from the line. Of course he is. Only 2 assists. That's what kind of pisses me off. Let Steph Curry have fucking 10 assists, dude. Like, let him pass to AirPods. Let him pass to Gary Payton and Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler. For us to just let him gun 3 after 3, we know what he's going to do out there. Make the role players beat us. Again, coaching was my main concern from this game. We need to make some adjustments on Steph Curry, double team him, trap his ass, and, we just didn't do that. But hopefully Mitch Johnson learned from these 2 games as well, and we'll make those adjustments next time we see Golden State. Jimmy Butler has 21 points on 50% shooting. He has 8 rebounds as well. Just doing Jimmy Butler type stuff out there. He does a lot of stuff that doesn't show up on the stat sheet. I fucking hate Draymond Green. He's a dirty ass player. He just talks shit all the time and he acts like such an immature child out there. Then he gets on his podcast and acts like he's smarter than everyone and he's some like really intelligent guy. I fucking hate Draymond. I don't even care. Doesn't even have to do with basketball. He's a dirty ass guy. Just an immature human being, and I fucking don't like Draymond Green. He screams at people, and then Wemby dunks on him and screams in his face, and he's like, "What the fuck, dude? He can dish out the screaming, but he can't take it." I can't stand Draymond. Anyway, he has 6 points, 3 for 12 from the field, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 4 turnovers, and he's a fucking bum. Getting out of personal stuff, Draymond's one of the best defenders of all time, and he did a great job defensively against Wemby. And he kind of always does a great job, but that's enough talking about Draymond. I can't stand Draymond Green. Wemby has the 26 points on 10 for 21 from the field, so decent efficiency. He's 3 for 8 from 3. I think he took 9 threes last game, 9 threes the game before, 8 threes this game. So he's starting to shoot a higher volume from 3, and I don't mind it. He doesn't necessarily need to take 10 threes every single game, but I made the point last game, the game before, because the first 7 games of the season or so, we're just making a point to kind of force the ball into the paint for Wemby. Even if it's not working that great, just force your way in there, catch the ball in the paint. He was having some turnovers early in the season. We were having trouble just making entry passes to Wemby. And then when Wemby would catch the ball in the paint and get immediately double teamed, he was still learning how to make a quick read and pass it out to the open person. Then, with that being the case, our team was learning how to move around Wembanyama when he gets double teamed. But these last few games, he shot a higher volume of threes. Teams are really taking him away in the paint. I made the point last video, Wemby will do his pump fake beyond the 3-point line. Teams weren't really biting on his pump fake because he wasn't shooting any threes. But now that he's shooting a little bit more threes, teams are going to actually bite on that pump fake. It's going to open things up for him more in the mid-range and inside the paint. But he has 26 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists. He does have the 3 turnovers, 3 blocks, and 1 steal. Wemby was pretty great out there, to be honest. One point that I'll make about him, I've been making this point kind of all season long. When Wemby, he'll beat his initial defender off the dribble. He's been doing a good job of doing that, just beating that initial defender. But once he beats that first defender, usually from the 3-point line, he beats him. He'll take like 2 steps and get into the paint. He has such long strides, but he'll kind of beat that defender, pick up his dribble, and then he's kind of out of control. people would have set themselves up and he'll pick up charges. He doesn't really have, he'll beat that defender and he can't really get to like a Euro step, or he doesn't make great reads once he's beaten his initial defender. Where with like a Stephon Castle, De'Aaron Fox, Dylan Harper was showing some good strides in this as well. But those guys, they'll beat the initial defender. They're going 100 miles an hour and then slow down, decel step, Euro step, either finish inside or find an open shooter on the outside. So it's kind of the next part of Wemby's game he's developing is once he beats the first line of defense, just reading the back line, learning how to make the right pass or avoid that charge. And that's just the next part in his development. Stephon Castle has 13 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. He does have the 4 turnovers, 5 personal fouls. He's efficient. I mean, only 6 shots. He scores 13 points. I feel like De'Aaron Fox may have been taking some shots away from him, but Stephon Castle, he was just using all his energy trying to guard Stephen Curry out there. He was doing a decent job when Castle was on him, but Steph Curry just cooked our entire team. Again, we should have been double teaming him as soon as the third quarter started, but he was already pretty hot, and there was just no slowing him down once he got hot. So I felt like Castle did a decent job, did the best job any of our defenders could have done on Steph Curry. So, I mean, it just is what it is. De'Aaron Fox, he has the 24 points, the 10 assists. He does have 4 turnovers, 3 steals, and a block. He's 4 for 8 from 3, so his 3 ball was going down pretty good this game. He can be pretty streaky from 3. Again, I blame our coaching the most for why we lost this game. Then you can put De'Aaron Fox as number 2. I have no problem with that. De'Aaron Fox would probably take all the blame on himself, even though I don't think that's entirely fair. Again, like I was saying, De'Aaron Fox misses those 3 shots in the final minute of the game. It is inexcusable for Victor Wembanyama not to get one of those shots. Some of that blame goes on De'Aaron Fox. Some of that blame goes on the coaching staff for not just drawing something up for Wemby and saying Wemby's going to get one of those shots. And then some of that blame goes on Wembanyama as well, because he needs to just come up, start clapping your hands, say, give me the fucking ball. I'm taking at least one of these 3 shots. I wasn't mad that De'Aaron Fox tried to close the game, but a lot of people were saying he was trying to play hero ball, and I would agree with you to some extent there. Him taking the 3 shots in the final minute and Wemby not getting 1 shot is inexcusable. I wasn't so much upset with the looks De'Aaron Fox got, except for the last look. I feel like that was kind of far out for a mid-range jumper, but the 3 ball he took with about 1 minute left, and then the mid-range jumper he took with like 30 seconds left, I don't think those are really bad looks. They just didn't go. They just didn't go in. And again, like I was saying before, if De'Aaron Fox just makes one of those shots, he finishes with 26 points on 50% shooting with 10 assists and 3 steals and 1 block. And everyone's saying how fucking great De'Aaron Fox is and how happy we are to have him. So he's played 4 or 5 games with us. I do not agree with people saying, Spurs got to trade De'Aaron Fox. He's played 5 games after missing 5 months straight of basketball. Let's go ahead and trade our second best player. If De'Aaron Fox wasn't playing this game, to be honest, we probably lose by 10 points or more, in my opinion, because these are playoff style games. De'Aaron Fox and Wemby are really our only 2 players that can kind of create a shot for themselves in a playoff style atmosphere. Because again, this is like a playoff style game. Once the playoffs actually start, everything slows down. They take away your role players a lot more, and you need guys like a De'Aaron Fox that can actually create their own shot and create offense for themselves. Again, I give De'Aaron Fox the most blame behind the coaching staff, so it's not me trying to say he doesn't get any blame for the loss. I still give him a large deal of the blame. But like I said, if he makes one more shot, we probably win the game, and he goes for 26 points and 10 assists, and everyone's saying how great De'Aaron Fox is. All the haters that came out to hate on De'Aaron Fox, they're the same people that were saying, we need to trade De'Aaron Fox before he even played 1 game this season. So they were just waiting for any reason they could to hate on De'Aaron Fox. They got their reason. And again, I do think he tried to play some hero ball down the stretch. But it comes down to coaching staff, Wembanyama. De'Aaron Fox gets a lot of that blame. But like I said, Mitch Johnson needs to draw up at least one play for Wemby, because the final play of the game, De'Aaron Fox catches the ball in the backcourt. I didn't think it was a bad play. He comes down. It was drawn up for him to hopefully use his speed to get to the rim and then possibly create an open look for Wemby. I would have liked him to to be more aggressive in attacking the rim. It seemed like once he caught the ball, he kind of had his mind made up that he was going to go to that mid-range shot. And again, he kind of missed Wemby on those last two plays of the game. But I blame that on De'Aaron Fox just as much as I would blame it on the coaching staff, because the coaches have to drop one of those plays and just say, "Hey, Wemby, you are taking this last shot. It's not like a you or De'Aaron Fox. It's just you. You're gonna be the one taking this shot, Wemby." And I do give Wemby a bit of the blame as well, because you have to come up and just tell De'Aaron, "I'm taking this shot. This is my team." With that being said, we're still learning how to win as a team. De'Aaron Fox is still learning how to play on a winning team and a winning style, winning culture, and we're all learning how to play with him. He's learning how to play with us. Wemby is the best player on the team. Of course, it's not really an argument. De'Aaron Fox should have deferred to Wembanyama for at least one or two of those shots, but he's used to being the closer in Sacramento. He's used to himself being the best option to close games, but now, Wemby's probably our best option to close games. I mean, if we give the ball to Wemby and he misses two of those shots down the stretch, we're not hating on Wemby nearly as much as we're hating on De'Aaron Fox. And I get it, we're never going to hate on Wemby at all. He's our God and our Savior. But, I can't say at this point Wemby's a better option to close than De'Aaron, because we haven't had too many opportunities to see Wemby close games. He did close out against the Chicago Bulls, made those two huge threes over Vucevic, or is it Nurkic? I think it's Nurkic on the Bulls. Made those two big threes to close out the game. Um, so, I would have liked Wemby to get at least one or two of those shots. De'Aaron Fox did kind of try to play hero ball down the stretch. So, I will agree with you guys that are saying that, but De'Aaron Fox is not the main reason we lost the game. So I'm not on the trade our second best player bandwagon after he only played 5 games. Let De'Aaron play 10 or 15 games. If he's still playing, I was gonna say still playing terrible. He's not playing terrible. He's been pretty good all of the games he's been in there, except for the one game against Golden State where he played 13 games. But if De'Aaron Fox plays, 20 games with us, he's just trying to play hero ball all the time, and he's shutting out Wemby and the rest of our team, and he's obviously a bad fit, then I'll jump on the bandwagon with you guys and say, hey, De'Aaron's had 20 games, he hasn't looked good with us, but at least let us get a sample size before we decide we should trade our second best player and go back to how we looked last season, because that just doesn't make any sense to me. Julian Champagne's 4 for 9 from 3, hits a big three, couple big threes in the fourth quarter. Keldon's 2 for 7, gives us the 5 rebounds, the 4 points. He had a nice alley-oop out there. Back to coaching, Luke Cornett was pretty much unplayable out there. He wasn't really getting open in the lob game. Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler, just too fast. They were shutting him down there. He was getting cooked by Steph Curry. Like I said before, we were setting screens, or Golden State was setting screen and rolls for Curry, and Luke Cornett played drop coverage at least 3 different times I saw, and Steph Curry hit easy threes off of that drop coverage. I think we're going to trade Jeremy Sohan again. I'm not saying that's the right move. I honestly like Jeremy Sohan a lot, but he plays 12 minutes this game. He played like 9 minutes last game, then 10 minutes the game before that. He's totally healthy. He's 2 for 3, 5 points, 3 rebounds. He does have the 2 turnovers, so I guess that's a little bit concerning. But if Jeremy Sohan played 17 minutes and Luke Cornett played 12 minutes, I love both the players, but that comes down to coaching again. If Jeremy Sohan was playing on those screen and rolls with Steph Curry, he would have at least pressed up on it. He wouldn't be playing drop coverage and giving Steph Curry those easy threes. There was one play where they run the screen and roll action. Jeremy Sohan does press up on Steph Curry, and Curry just hits him with like a pullback dribble and hits a 3 in his face anyway, but he at least made it a little bit harder instead of Curry just coming off and seeing drop coverage and shooting an easy 3 over that drop coverage. But yeah, it was a tough loss. Again, the 2 losses, they're losses on the record, but they felt like wins for me. We got so much experience playing against this Golden State squad. I heard Spurs fans, other people saying, hey, our team looked way better before De'Aaron Fox came back. Our defense was way better. We're winning all these games. Now De'Aaron Fox is back, and we lost back-to-back games against Golden State, just one of the better teams in the NBA, just a championship caliber defensive and offensive team. And If De'Aaron Fox didn't play in these two games, we probably still lose the games, to be honest, and we probably lose them by double digits. So I'm not saying, hey, let's trade our second best player because he's played 5 games and looked great in 4 of the games, and then made some questionable choices down the stretch of this game. I'm sure De'Aaron Fox will get with Wemby, the coaching staff, and we'll kind of make it clear that Wemby is the number one option, and we'll make it clear for De'Aaron that Wemby needs to take at least 1 or 2 of these shots down the stretch of the game. And, like I said before, De'Aaron Fox is probably the first person that went up to Wemby and said, my bad, I should have got you the ball at least once or twice in those situations. My last point, all the people saying Spurs are better without De'Aaron Fox and we're doing so good before De'Aaron got there. Our 8 wins, those teams record combined, all the team records combined of the 8 teams we've beaten, those teams are 36 and 60 combined. So they have a crazy losing record. We played Dallas, we played New Orleans twice, Brooklyn, Toronto, Miami, Houston, and Chicago. Toronto, Miami, Houston, and Chicago. Those 4 wins are impressive. Those are solid teams. But Dallas, New Orleans twice, and Brooklyn, those are not great teams. Again, the 8 wins we have, those teams' records combined is 36 and 60. So it's not like we were out there just dog walking playoff teams and we beat the Thunder and then we beat the Nuggets and we beat the Cavaliers. We weren't beating a bunch of playoff teams. We had a pretty soft schedule, and now we play Golden State back to back. That's the best team we played all season long. We lose back to back games, and they're really close games. There hasn't been one game all season where a team comes out and just blows us out. So, I'm really proud of our team. We just got beat by a veteran team. I think we are the more talented team than Golden State. They just beat us with experience, kind of like how they beat the Houston Rockets in the 7 game series in the playoffs based on their experience. So, again, the elephant in the room, De'Aaron Fox, he played hero ball down the stretch. He took 3 shots in the final minute. There's no excuse for Wemby not to get at least 1 or 2 of those shots. De'Aaron Fox gets a huge amount of the blame, but our coaching staff is most to blame for this loss. They should have set up Wemby for at least 1 or 2 of those shots down the stretch and made sure he got the ball. And they sure as shit should have made some adjustments to double team, trap Steph Curry, and get the ball out of his hands. Because there's no reason for him to score 46 points against us. Then we make no adjustments and he comes out and scores 49 points against us. Us not making these adjustments and having this style coaching in the playoffs is going to lose us a playoff series. So hopefully, we make some adjustments and things look better next time we play the Golden State Warriors. But please like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 7 million subscribers. I don't think we should trade our second best player just because he made some questionable decisions. And again, I'm right there with you. He's a huge part of why we lost the game. But I blame our coaching staff more for this loss than I would blame De'Aaron Fox. Please like and subscribe. 7 million subscribers. See y'all next time. Peace.